And in terms of bringing across sort of traditional gaming support and services and mechanisms, I felt, there's a lot of games in VR which are just creating an experience because it's cool in VR and not necessarily measuring why it's cool or where people are getting stuck. Where do you see the importance of metrics and analytics playing a role in terms of games development for VR to understand that user experience?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, there's plenty of analytics tools out there on the market. The majority of which, especially in the gaming space, are very much focused on like free-to-play games, those types of things with in-app purchase and optimizing towards a particular type of outcome. I feel like that spatial metrics, the understanding the where things are happening, is an existing problem that has not been addressed, even if we go back to PC and console as well. So if we think of kind of like any spatial type of environment that's beyond, kind of a mobile game, the tools to be able to kind of reveal user behavior in those environments are really limited. There's not a lot of capability there. But when we start thinking about, measuring those types of experiences, the VR vector, like the VR headset itself, kind of amplified that problem. Like there was even less insight, and now I have a user that's embodied within the experience, right? So it was like a much different, type of problem set, and that's why we've really been focused on the area that we are so far. So from a measurement perspective, being able to understand the spatial context of what's going on within the experience has been kind of a key area where we've been able to help developers identify where people are taking the headset off, where we're seeing like low performance within the environment, where they could spend time and optimize, like those types of problems that really could use kind of that spatial insight.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to pause for one moment just to see whether we have audio from Akash. Different computer, still no audio.
The universe does not want to hear him today. No. That is. Yeah.
I promise you that Akash has very interesting things to say and is working on an awesome omnidirectional treadmill. But we'll have to work that one out later. Jerome, in terms of users and your experiences, how important are metrics and understanding user behavior in terms of your design and development, but also gauging where you spend your focus?
Right. Well, because we run our experiences in our office, we can see exactly what the pain points are. So metrics for now we don't need. In the long run, yeah, we're gonna need for sure. But for now, yeah, it hasn't been much of a focus because we're able to just see it happen. The goal when we develop a game is to make it as seamless as possible as far as maintenance. Not maintenance, but more of having a game master, for instance. When you think about escape rooms, for instance, you're gonna think about having someone here to make sure that you can go through it, and if you're stuck, you can have your hints and stuff like that. One of our goal would be in VR and through software to be able to not have to do that and just have the people go through their experience without having anyone managing them, which saves you obviously labor. Mm-hmm. So that's a big point, definitely in our implementation of things, where we try as much as we can to be hands off from interacting with our clients. Not that we don't want to, but we don't want to pay for it. So yeah, that's a big one. There might have been a second part to your question, but I don't remember it already.
Just talking about how metrics and sort of measuring user behavior feed into the design and development.
Yeah, well, a lot, but like we're more in an agile system where we modify as we go. It's kind of hard to figure out how your users are going to use your experiences, and we're talking about here a multiplayer experience, so it's a different process than a single experience at home, where people interact in a very different way with the application. Here you are next to your friends or family, and you're going to really interact in a very different way within the VR, and therefore like it's very important to account for that. And we definitely, when we first made the games and we had them first tested by paying customers, it definitely changed the vision we had for them. The design of the game was not touched, but the interactions with like how people interact with each other and the world can be a bit more challenging. So yeah, I think we have a good grasp of that now. We understand, but it'll be much easier to get into the next designs. We just had to see it for ourselves first time.
Yeah, sure. How do you design for a first-time user versus somebody who has got a device at home, thinks they know VR, and won't listen to your instructions?
Well, usually we haven't seen a big difference from like I have friends that are really into VR, like hardcore VR enthusiasts, and and then most of my clients are also parents that have no idea what the hell they're getting into. We haven't had any problems with that. The transition between having a lot of experience in VR or not hasn't impacted neither our design nor how we introduce the experience. But I do like to start when I check in my clients. I like to start by telling them that they should forget what they know about VR, just for the sense that what you experience at home will never be what you can experience here. You are able to walk, you're able to be next to each other. You're going to tend to forget that you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
And even I, after making that game, if I'm in there, I might suddenly try to lean on something, which I know it doesn't exist. And this at home, you don't have the relaxation level to get. And I think that's why it translates from people that have no idea what they're experiencing to someone that is very experienced, is because still at home, you always have this thing in your head that tells you, I am not there. There's my TV next to me. My girlfriend might pass by. I don't want to hit anything. And you're always a bit, on the lookout for that. Whereas here, you can really forget because we control the space, and therefore we're able to manipulate you physically so that you forget that you're not there. And that brings a different type of experience to the user, which again translates through a high level experience to a low level, which is quite wonderful. We'll take that.
So home use is one area. I said back in 2014, I think VR will cause the rise of the VR arcade, because people won't have the space or won't have the ability to have the devices at home. This is well before early standalone devices and price drops. But I'd still argue, to have a dedicated VR space at home, like what you can get in an LBE space, you need another $250,000 to buy that house with the extra empty room, essentially. Which
and then
maybe in the future we will be able to do. I don't know, but I'm going to.
It's not even that. It's like most of the games
Akash,
they're not made for
audio test.
Yeah, most of the games are not made for that use.
No.